Good gardening morning. I decided to fix the front bed and get it ready for planting peanuts and sweet potatoes and flowers. I first took out all the mustard seeds I could harvest, then I mowed it, and then finally I used the tiller to till. I only wish it would actually happen this fast. I do have sunflowers planted, so I made sure that they made it through everything as well as all of the herbs that I have planted. And you can see where I have the drip tape laid out. Here are my sunflowers. It looks like they're getting ready to bloom. These are black oil sunflowers here, and then the inner row are different kinds. This is a chocolate cherry, and that's a joker, but I have this whole bed rimmed with sunflowers. Some taller than others. Not sure exactly what's going on, other than I do need to do some weeding here. And again, here's the drip tape. You really have to put something heavy on the ends of the drip tape in order for it to lay flat. Here's the mailbox. Looks like the sunflowers are almost done blooming. I'm not sure if they're going to bloom again. It was my understanding they were going to, but that may not be the case. We do have one sunflower that has not bloomed yet. This is the rosemary that made it through the snowpocalypse. There's sage, oregano, and thyme. And over to the side I have some tiny basil plants. Here is the Carolina Jasmine. And then my blueberries. I've really decided to fertilize these guys really well, hoping to get them to put on new foliage and perhaps get ready to bloom for next year. There are a few blueberries on the plants, as you can see here. I'm just hoping to get a taste before the birds get a taste. The blueberry bush on the very end is called Pink Lemonade, and it does have a few blueberries on it. I'm again hoping to get a taste of this one because it sounds so intriguing. This is the Star Jasmine. It's good for my bees, so I am hoping that they will come and visit. It's just filled with flowers. And then we have our two raspberries, and as you can see, we do have quite a few raspberries for the size of this plant. Again, more raspberries. That will be interesting. These are my gladiolas. I'm hoping they will bloom this year. And here are a set of bulb flowers that I honestly don't remember the name of, but they're just precious. I love the white flowers there. And here's the Bridal Veil Viburnum. It has stopped blooming. I'm hoping perhaps it will set on another bloom later. Here are the pumpkins, and as you can see, some of the pumpkins are actually blooming. That's a Cherokee Tan on the very left that has started blooming, although it's a quite small plant. Inside the raised bed gardens, a lot of the plants are flowering and going to seed. This is spinach, and that's the curly kale. Here we have zucchini and as you can see, it's started blooming. This is a male flower on the zucchini, but if you look under the plant, you can see where some of the new flowers are going to happen, and you can see that there are female flowers that will be coming soon. My yellow squash is still quite small. Now this is a bean plant, and we call that a volunteer bean plant amongst the cucumbers that are starting to grow. Volunteer because I didn't plant it. It came up from seeds where last year's beans were. And over here we see more of the seeds that are formed from our brassicas, cabbage, cauliflower, kale. So I'm going to be picking seeds probably next weekend. And there is some of the elephant garlic that I'm using for seed stock. These are the rattlesnake pole beans. Pole beans simply mean that they want to climb something, so I planted them near the fence. Now here's our radish that I'm letting go to seed. Those are some amazing seed pods. Again, I planted the rattlesnake pole beans. Here is a flower on them, and they are quite gorgeous little flowers, I think. I'm hoping these will run up the fence soon. Here are the onions. As you can see, they're starting to make some bulbs. These did make it through Snowmageddon. Kind of interesting. We've got a mixture of onions in here, red, white, and red, white, and yellow. These are the carrots. Now these carrots that are flowering are purple carrots, but I think the flowers are just amazing. Again, I want to save some seeds and see what happens. Now, here are the potatoes, and the potatoes are quite tall, and they're beginning to flower, and they're actually flowering different colors. So I do have a mixture of potatoes in here as well. So here is the ones that are flowering with a lavender purple flower, and right next to it are ones that are flowering with white flowers. I'm hoping to get one more head of cabbage. That would be lovely. But here's an interesting little find. I didn't think this was going to do anything, and lo and behold, what do we have? Yes, that is yellow cauliflower growing. So I'm hoping that I will be able to harvest that soon. I do have some tomatoes out of here that I'm going to harvest, the little orange ones. But check these out. These are going to be Blue Boy cherry tomatoes. Check that out. Isn't that an amazing purple blue color? This is a Kellogg's breakfast. It should be yellow in color eventually. And you can see I've got plenty of tomatoes along here. And the Florida weave I need to do again, but it's going to rain soon, so I'm going to hold off on that. If you look down here, you can see some beautiful Roma tomatoes, along with the rutabaga that's going to seed. These are onions and garlic. And my okra. I have planted the okra between the onions. I also planted some on the end here, some okra and some watermelon. These are my field peas on the right and my green beans on the left. Now I want to take you through and show you a couple of things here. We have blackberries, and they have flowered and made blackberries. This is a fig. Its name is Butterball. That's my name for the fig. It is a turkey fig, a brown turkey fig. Here are more blackberries. I honestly thought this one was dead, but you can see a leaf emerging. This is the Mars grapevine. Another blackberry. More blackberries. This is another fig tree called Eva Brown because it is a Texas Everbearing fig tree, hence Eva Everbearing. This is the bee feed seed that has emerged, and you can see that some of the flowers are starting to bloom, little white blooms. And some of these flowers are starting to get taller. I'm looking forward to more blooms. This is our Persian lime Cyrus. Cyrus is starting to put on new leaves. And here is our lemon tree. It's an Arctic frost lemon, and so its name is now Frosty, and there are 2 lemons on Frosty. Satsu the Satsuma. Satsu has many small fruits. It has been quite prolific. You can see the very small fruits scattered amongst Satsu's limbs. Honestly, I don't know if Satsu can hold all this fruit. It's going to be quite interesting if they make it to maturity. Here's an overall view of the garden. It's a messy but prolific and healthy garden. Have a wonderful week full of bountiful blossoms and blessings.